In this video, we are going to be looking at the hottest baby name trends for 2019, names set to take the baby naming world by storm. We're going to be using a list that has been put together by a website called Nonbinary. They've broken their trends down into 12 categories that are increasingly ridiculous and include most fashionable consonant. We all await with bated breath, but we're not going to start there. We're going to start with trend number 1, global names. So the theory is, as the world gets smaller, the pool of international names becomes larger. So in the list, they're listing Maori names, ancient Greek names, Korean names. I shall read you some examples, but I shall not necessarily pronounce them correctly. Acacius, Jeddah, Naibi, Senna, which makes me think of laxatives. I don't know, is there a laxative called Senna? I don't know. But I do have an issue with this particular trend. If it's not a name from your country or your culture, just what's your connection to it? It's kind of a bit like when people get tattoos in another language, which they think mean, citizen of the world. But actually it means I'll believe anything I'm told. Next category, non-binary names. Now, you'd be forgiven for thinking this is just names that could apply for both genders. So things like Charlie can be a girl or a boy, Leslie can be a girl or a boy, although nobody's been called Leslie since about 1956. But this trend goes one step further than that. So this does not include names that apply or connect with either gender. So if it has the word son in it, like say Harrison, that is not a non-binary name because son implies boy. Examples: Campbell, like the soup; Revel, like the sweets; Justice, like a superhero; Journey, like the band; and Story, that's not a name. To hear it put as a trend suggests that people are increasingly using these names. Are there an increasing amount of children out there called Story? Oh, I hope not. Next category, hottest direction in baby naming. This year's direction? East. What this means is names related to Eastern religions and non-European mythology. We've run into the pronunciation problem again. Let's have a go. Lakshmi, Osiris, Rama. Was that a Wolf from the Jungle Book? I think it was. Bodhi. I've met a little Bodhi and he was very nice. I kind of like the name Bodhi. Manu, equally met a very lovely Manu. And the That's Not a Name award goes to Zen. What life path do you think you're setting your child on if you name them Zen? I'm just asking the question. Let's have another category. This one is the coolest new colour names. If you want to know what colour to name your child after in 2019, it is this category, muted hues. So the trend was vibrant shades like scarlet and ruby. It is giving way to softer pastels. Grey, with two spellings, one with an E, one with an A, is becoming a very popular name du jour. They said that, not me. It does say at the bottom, another prediction, more Crayola names for boys. This website seems to suggest go buy one of those giant packs of Crayolas and just go through all the colours. I've heard worse ways of picking kids' names, to be honest. Example time. Ash just makes you think of a fire. Olive, lilac, mauve. That's just an enjoyable word. And sage. And if it's a twin, you could have sage and onion. Ha ha! And the That's Not a Name award goes to moss, because it is something that you clear out of your gutters. Not a name for a child. We're on to category 5. This one is naming your children after rare gems. You've had your ruby, you've had your pearl, and you've had your amber, but 2019, what's it bringing us? Amethyst, let's hope not. Emerald, garnet. My That's Not a Name award is going to go to a name that I think is just too difficult to deal with. Onyx. Hi, what's your name? Onyx. What's that? Onyx. Onyx. I'll just call you Jim. We've got a vintage trend. Vintage names have long been a thing. There is a new vintage in town, and it is old school nicknames for boys. Technically, both of my children fall into this category because they have names that are nicknames, but we've used them as their actual names because we're just ahead of the trend. Nonbinary are classifying this category as names which were once confined to comic strips and old radio and TV shows. Then it says, and I don't know what this means, even more startling is the reappearance of some generic badass appellations now appealing to the hipster sensibilities of celebs and others. Because I don't know about you, but when it comes to naming my kids, I'm all about the badass appellation. Examples? Buddy, Buster, Hank, Jimmy, Johnny, and Spike. All of those perfectly acceptable names, perhaps just because I like this trend. Guess what category we've got? It's the most fashionable consonant. It's F. This category is what it says on the tin. It is names that begin with F. Faye, Finian, Felix, Francis, Frederick, Flora. And the That's Not a Name award goes to Frost. That's not a name. That is a weather, and not even a nice one. Now, if fashionable consonants aren't your thing, try your hand at the coolest vowel. And the winner for 2019, it's the letter U. No, not names beginning with U. That would be crazy. It's names that have an ooh sound in them, as illustrated by such names as Louise. Is Louise having a comeback? I feel like Louise hasn't been around since I was a child, which was many moons ago. Reuben, Tallulah. Again, I'm going to query what path in life you're setting your child on if you call her Tallulah. Juniper, Jude, Hugo, Eulalie, and my That's Not a Name award, true. I know a Kardashian's done it, they shouldn't have, and neither should you. The next category, trendiest name length. In 2019, your child should have 3 letters. Examples of 3-letter names: Gem, Ida, Lux, Rio, Rex. And the name that's not a name, Van. Although if he was a white little boy, he would grow up to be White Van Man. That's pretty good. At this point in time, I feel the people at Nameberry lost their minds and have just jumbled words together and have come up with this. Wildest middle name trend, Animalia. Do you mean animals? Is that what that means? Because we've given our children slightly unusual first names, we gave them very sensible middle names so that if they grow up to be very, very sensible people, they have a sensible name option. This trend is all about the reverse. You give them their nice, sensible, safe name, but in the middle, you sneak something a little bit crazy, such as bear, falcon, fox, hawk, lion, wolf, like the gladiator. All the names I've just said have in common that they are sort of fierce and strong names. But also on the list, otter, and cuddliest of all, the koala. I won't do a That's Not a Name award because it's all of them. But it's a middle name, so do what you like. Call him Shoe, I don't care. Go nuts. Here's the name of the next category, trendiest trend-related trend, celebrity surname names. This apparently is combining 2 existing trends. One is naming after celebrities, and one is taking names that are traditionally surnames and using them as first names. We are now combining these 2 trends into a mega trend. Examples: Beckham, Bowie, Hendrix, Monroe, Jolie. Now, I'm not going to say that there's not a name award in this one because they are technically all names. What I would say is that you are potentially setting your child up for a life constantly in the shadow of the person they're named after. You say, hi, I'm Beckham. Oh, like David. I'm Hendrix. Oh, like Jimmy. People are forever going to make that connection and your child is going to be like, no, not like Jimmy, like me, Hendrix Jones. Final category, we're nearly at the end. This is trend ready to jump the shark. M names. So not names beginning with the letter M, names beginning with EM. So we have your Emily, we've got your Emma. We're adding in Ember, who can be friends with Ash. Emmy, like the award. Emmeline, Emmett, Amelia, Emerson. And the That's Not a Name award, Emery, because that is something you file your nails with. And that is it. So if you yourself are naming a baby in the year 2019, those are the hot trends you may wish to follow. I would say, in the main, probably not. But there are some gems in there. Literally. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please press like, please subscribe to see more, and I will see you very soon. Bye!